Productions. Conspiracy always leads to spirituality because you're just inundated with so much conspiracy that has this spiritual backdrop that you're forced to address it. Then, as my eyes adjusted to the darkness, I saw it. Hovering above me, near the ceiling, a classic gray alien face with massive black lifeless eyes staring straight into me. This is a fear for your mortal soul. It's fucking it's a bizarre fear, and I've said it before, I'll say it again. Nothing in waking life ever merits that level of fear.
Well, one night I had a dream and can still remember it very vividly. My brother and I stole my dad's cargo van and drove up a windy road to a stereotypical Transylvania castle. Once we made it to the door, Scooby-Doo answered and was dressed as Dracula.
Well,
Dumb.
Each day for 2 weeks, I would throw the doll into the living room, and it would appear back in my room the next day in a random location, sometimes behind the dresser, sometimes by the window, but it always came back. Productions.
We are being hypnotized by people like this. Newsreaders, politicians, teachers, lecturers. We are in a country and in a world that is being run by unbelievably sick people. The chasm between what we're told is going on and what is really going on is absolutely enormous.
Oh yeah, dude. There's some Nephilim.
It's like we all know what's going down, but no one's saying shit what happened to the home of the brave. These motherfuckers, they controlling us now, and no one's talking about how they made us fight and be slaves. And everybody's just walking around, head in the clouds and won't awaken to a dead in the grave. By then it's too late, we need to be ready to raise up. Welcome to the end of days.
Everybody is slaves, only some are aware that the government releasing poison in the air.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to another episode of NDS Chronicles, the show where we read your submitted paranormal testimony. You can submit those paranormal testimonies at chroniclesnds@gmail.com if you want us to read your stories. That's chroniclesnds@gmail.com. Also, guys, a little bit of, it's not business. We're just letting you know that at half an hour mark, we're going to cut this stream and go live exclusively to patreon.com/ Nephilim Death Squad. And you can continue enjoying this show, engaging in the live chat, enjoying an ad-free experience, and gaining early access to the episode before the general public does, and you can do it all for free. If you sign up for the 7-day free trial at patreon.com/Nephilim Death Squad, try to absorb all of our backlog content. Impossible, because we make more content than we can put out. And you can try to get out of there before the billing cycle kicks in.
That's right.
But you're going to want to stay.
Get there, join the Spotify, join the other podcast app. Spotify is where the video will be. Other podcast app is where the audio will be ad-free. It's great. It's a fucking great value. It's a great.
It is, dude. It
great
is because
deal.
we record so much. For every one episode that we release, we've recorded 2 to 3. And at that rate, we're simply never going to catch up. Honestly, one day I'm considering, doing some sort of like all of our material is in a memberships place, and it's like maybe that's okay. Maybe that's okay. Maybe we don't need to be out and about on Rumble because that platform is dying and it sucks. Maybe we don't need to be out and about on YouTube because that platform also sucks. But all of our stuff is there. Patreon.com/Nephilim Death Squad. Also, guys, Bohemian Grove tickets are available. Go to brogrove.com and pick them up. They are moving. This has been fucking awesome. We did a good job exclusively giving tickets to the Patreon members. And so all the VIP tickets went and then some. So that means that we're going to have a packed house of dangerous retards. And that's exactly what I wanted. But the cat's out of the bag now, guys, and the tickets are available to everyone. So if you are a late comer, if you didn't get them, go to brogrove.com and pick up your tickets before they're gone, because surely they will be soon. What are we going to talk about today?
Buy them now. Go buy them.
Tickets, buy the tickets.
They're for sale. They're saying that they miss Broke David. I don't know what that means.
Because I have Pokemon card money now. That's why. Things have changed me. Yeah. It's not a big deal, but I am podcast rich now. And I'm just buying Pokemon cards. Look at that Vaporeon. Look at that holographic Vaporeon. Guys, if you're coming to Leesburg, Florida, if you're coming to hang out with it, look at that bad boy. Isn't that beautiful? If you're coming to Leesburg, Florida, here's my Raichu. That's a nice one too. Really like that Raichu. That's kind of my favorite one.
Yeah.
Be sure to stop at the local card shop and pick me up some holographic cards. Okay, that'd be a nice gift.
As
I
a
give a lot of
sacrifice
things to you guys.
to pay
Right.
homage to David. Go ahead and stop off there and buy him a rare holographic Pokemon card.
Whatever
and
you
then
got,
you
whatever
can
they
meet
have.
him.
I know that there is a sealed. This is how crazy I am about old school Pokemon cards. I don't even want to say it. I'll say it on the air, but I swear to God, if any of you motherfuckers come to Leesburg and you steal this card, I will find you and I will kill
buy
you.
it. I'm gonna go buy it right now. I'm gonna be there.
No.
soon.
I'm not even gonna say it. You know what? No, I'm not even, because you will do that. You're the type of that go buy my card up.
And
It's
rip
a
it.
sealed.
I would rip it.
Oh
Yeah, what is
my
it?
God, I would
Just
be
tell me,
fucking
because I want to
devastated.
know. They're not gonna buy it.
It's a sealed. It's still in the seal, right in the
Mhm.
package. Holographic Gen 1. It's a first edition Machamp.
How much
That's
does it
what
cost?
it is. It's like $45. I bought a fucking $35 card the last time I was there, so I was like, let's not go too crazy. But I got my eyes on that one. Right?
$45.
Don't go to fucking Leesburg. If I find out, I will interview. I'll tell them to pull up the security footage, and I will find whoever it is that takes that fucking card. Yeah, Pokemon cards and a few cans of Celsius that's it, man. Living the dream. Living the dream.
I'm gonna do a GoFundMe right now, guys. Like $5 between
No.
I can buy it today, and at Bohemian Grove, I will cut it in front of him.
No, don't
He'll
do
never
that.
know.
Don't do that. It's a beautiful
I'll
card. It's a
fucking-
beautiful card.
Snip it right in front of his face.
Look, I'm talking to my Pokemon card homies. Remember the 151? Remember the original booster packs when we were kids? Remember how it came with a holographic Machamp? It's that one. It's the first edition holographic Machamp, still in the wrapping. No, don't look. I'll take it as a gift. Please don't steal it from me. Don't do that. That would deeply upset me because I am coming back for it. And if you guys are looking for gifts, well, there you go. All right, that's it. Wrap up the show.
One more point of business. So we have there's a possible way to open up another like seven seats for VIP.
Really?
7 more spots. I think so. Yeah.
How do we do that?
I've run the numbers, and we're allowed to.
Fucking number runner. Hold on. I just saw somebody in the chat say Fat Pikachu from the Jungle Pack is peak, and I know I got that fat piece of shit hiding in here somewhere. Hold on a second. This is a Pokemon card episode, guys. This isn't
Great
about the show
podcasting.
anymore. It is great
Yeah.
podcasting. We're gonna get into some of the Chronicles submissions at some point, I imagine. But are you? I knew it. I had a feeling. You made me big screen. Give me a second, guys. We're gonna find.
Just waiting. Yeah, flip it through the microphone so at least we can get the ASMR to hear it.
Oh, here it is. Here it is. Oh no, this isn't Jungle Pack. I thought it was this one. It is Fat Pikachu. Fat Pikachu's not Jungle Pack, dog. When they did Jungle Pack,
Oh, that's a nice
Pikachu
one.
lost a couple of pounds. He lost a couple of pounds. So not quite accurate. I know which one the Jungle Pack is though. That's a good Pikachu. I guess he's fat too. Anyway, let's get into today's show. We're gonna start with Cody. This was, what was that, March 30th? March 30th. And he does say, he says, "What's up, guys? I don't care if you dox me." So there we go. So I could just say Cody.
Okay.
So
Cody
one's
Gringham,
okay.
thank you for writing for us from Massachusetts.
Wait. Did
Okay.
you just say his last name? You're not supposed to say his last name, dude. He
He
just
said
said
he doesn't care.
All right. I typically, it's like a soft doxing.
All right, well, whatever. Go ahead and read it. We're gonna check
All
this
right,
out.
let's
see
get
what he
into it.
says.
What's up, guys? I don't care if you dox me, or you could just say Cody. Oh, okay. So yeah. If you do end up reading this, haha. That's what he says after
Well,
that,
we are.
haha. He says, "I'll start by saying I found your show after listening to the Paranormies a few months back. I'm actually not familiar with the Paranormies. Top bought it because we were saying, who the hell is the Paranormies? And I somebody that we like lightly beefed with on Twitter, and then they
I
ended up being
remember
pretty
now.
cool.
No, yeah, he is cool. Like, so I forgot what the beef even was, but it was one of those things where we're just like pushing each other, and then it was like, wait, I like you.
Mm.
And he's like, yeah, I like you too. I was
I like
all
it.
right.
I like when that happens because, you know, sometimes you be dragging somebody and then you like their style and they like your style and you go, oh, you know, we're
Yeah.
homies, and that's always nice when that goes that way. Johnny started the podcast by saying that he listens to NDS, so I looked you all up and I've been binging your ever since. Oh, thank you. That's very nice, Johnny. I guess over at the
Good for
Paranormal.
you.
Shout out the fucking Paranormies. Go listen to those guys. See what they're all about. You should definitely go on or have them on. I think it would be a cool episode. Oh, maybe we can make that happen. Anyway, I've been listening to NDS Chronicles for the past couple of episodes, and I now feel compelled to share my story. LOL. Is that a joke? I'm going to try to condense it as much as possible so it's not super long and boring. So here it goes. All right, guys, here it goes. I'll start off by saying I was never religious growing up. In fact, I was the exact opposite. I was your typical edgy atheist, convinced I had everything figured out and that anyone who believed in God was just ignorant. So worse kind of people.
Very cool.
Very cool. Yeah. I'm blessed I never went through the atheist phase. Very but in my mid to late 20s, I started questioning a lot of what science claimed to be the absolute truth. The rabbit hole led me deep into the world of conspiracies, and before I knew it, I was rethinking everything I thought I knew, including my belief in God. Many such cases, right? That's what does Sam Tripoli say? He's like, conspiracy always leads to spirituality because you're just inundated with so much conspiracy that has this spiritual backdrop that you're forced to address it. It's like, yeah, I get that they're banging kids, but why are they doing ritual when they're doing it, right? Okay, I'll try to keep this as brief as possible because I tend to go into way too much detail and don't want this to turn into a 10-page novel. Some people don't spare us that. Some people go, fucking, you're going to read all this, and you're going to enjoy it. And then, that's cool too, I guess. But after listening to your podcast, I realized that many guests and listeners have had experiences eerily similar to mine. That's why I feel like I need to share my own story. Cool. That's one of the things I love about Tony's show is you're listening to it, and if you've had a couple of weird things happen in your life, you recognize the patterns. Even though strange happens to people, it's not that different from what a lot of other people go through. They just don't talk about it. The first incident... Hold on a second there. It's a little loud. The first incident I experienced was my first ever case of sleep paralysis. Oh my God, dude. My son has a phone now. And
oh no. Is he getting sleep paralysis from the phone?
No, he hasn't had sleep paralysis from the phone, but we're going through his messages, his group messages. He's got like friends from school, and they're all just like, aggressively talking about sleep paralysis. Like they're obsessed with the idea of sleep paralysis, these children. And I think it's because a lot of the new, I guess this is Gen Alpha, their entertainment on YouTube, it started in our kind of circles. Actually, it might have been Gen Z that did this. I think Gen Z is responsible for the Benadryl Hat Man narrative. And then it kind of became a meme. So once the Hat Man became a meme, sleep paralysis became a meme. Like the way you see like sleep paralysis demon memes all the time. So now meme culture has bled into Gen Alpha, and they're like obsessed with this fucking notion of sleep paralysis. I'm like, that's not good.
Well, look, this is why all these people have sleep paralysis out here. Look at this. Just like smoking weed in front of your newborn baby
Wow.
and then doing some shoulder presses with it.
I could respect the shoulder presses. That's crazy. And she's just thinking about how she hates that who left for milk and never returned.
Yeah.
That's it. That's a woman who's overhead pressing a baby and thinking about her deep hatred for men.
And the baby too. Oh my God. It's crazy.
Why would you record yourself doing that? That's a wild move.
I'm just looking at that and thinking about the generational trauma. Like,
oh yeah.
You're getting a baby high, secondhand high off of smoke, and you're opening some kind of doorways in this poor baby's minds that like the kids are already like open to the supernatural. When you do that, when you give a baby a psychedelic or a drug like that, it's like, dude,
that's not good.
It's completely ruined. Yeah.
That's one of the things that I think, because they say in men, your prefrontal cortex isn't done developing. And that's the part of your brain that's like decision making and delaying instant gratification, like that sort of a thing, isn't done developing in men until 25. And I started smoking at like 16 and then like smoking heavily constantly. And, got to the point where like by the time I was 17, when I was homeless, luckily I had enough friends when I was homeless that I always had weed. I never had to pay for any of it, but it was like back to back to back to back. Like we would sit down, and from the moment we linked up to the moment we separated that night, it would be blunt after blunt after blunt. And I'm like, that's why I'm crazy. That's why there's something wrong with me. Something that did something terrible to my developing mind. And now I'm basically retarded. I'm blessed that it happens to be entertaining.
Can confirm.
Okay, so first incident I experienced was my first ever case of sleep paralysis. I was in high school at the time, somewhere between 2010 and 2013. I don't remember the exact year, but I know I was in my old bedroom in my childhood home. I woke up, but I couldn't move. Instantly, I was hit with this overwhelming, soul-crushing sense of dread. Yes, there it is. Then, as my eyes adjusted to the darkness, I saw it. Hovering above me, near the ceiling, a classic gray alien face with massive black lifeless eyes staring straight into me as it floated closer. Man.
Saw a demon.
You saw a demon, baby boy. But so already he's talking about patterns that I recognize, right? Which is waking up that you can't move, but then instantly hit with this overwhelming, soul-crushing sense of dread is the way that he describes it. And some people who haven't experienced that would be like, what the kind of pattern is that? Yeah, we know sleep paralysis. Of course, you're going to be scared if you wake up paralyzed. No, it is far beyond logical fear. This is not your analytical mind processing what's happening around you and then making a judgment about the level of danger that you're in. This is a fear for your mortal soul. It's fucking it's a bizarre fear, and I've said it before, I'll say it again. Nothing in waking life ever merits that level of fear. I don't give a what it is. You could be experiencing a home invasion. There's something else. It's almost like it's put upon you instead of a naturally occurring sense of fear. The moment our eyes locked, I experienced something impossible to describe in words. It was like hearing the loudest, most ear-piercing scream imaginable. Yet at the same time, it was completely silent. It was as if the sound wasn't coming from the outside world, but instead drilling directly into my brain.
Telepathy,
it was the most. Huh? What's that?
Like telepathy.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah, I mean, I've heard that a lot when they just communicate with you. Is you see their face, but their mouths aren't necessarily moving, and the sound's not coming from there. It's being projected into your head. But this is fucked up. It just decided to scream at him.
Like mind screamed at you.
Mind screamed at you, dude. Not good.
Actually hilarious to do to somebody that
it
doesn't
is.
know the concept.
Do you I like to think if they are just automatons and drones, then they probably don't have a sense of humor. But I wonder, I think the whole situation of the abduction experience becomes a lot more nefarious if these things have a sense of humor, because then they're no longer, it's like there's a Stockholm syndrome where some people will get abducted but still return thinking highly of their abductors. And
There should be like
Despite
the
the fact-
Oregon Trail, but you play from the point of view of the demon / alien, and you're
Is
like it
that
starts at
that's an Oregon Trail?
no, there should be. It should be an NDS Oregon Trail where you are the demon / alien, and it starts off. Every game starts off as like, okay, you're in the bedroom, and it's like, okay, you got to now you have to press the button, you got to zap him, and it's like, boom, okay, he's in sleep paralysis. Did you do it right? Oh, he woke up. Oh, you're dead. He killed you because you're just a fucking bag of bones. All right, you make it past that level. What do? You have like 6 options that you could choose. You have to get it to either like follow you back to the ship, or you have to scare it, or honestly, every single time I'm fucking screaming at it. I'm just gonna go,
Mind scream. Mind scream. Spam that button.
Spam mind scream. It's the most hilarious thing you could do to somebody who doesn't understand the concept of telepathy. Just something in front of it, scream and watch it shit its pants, and then event is over.
See,
you didn't get any semen from this guy, but you got a lot of screams.
You have people though that they leave there and they're like, it's like, okay, they took your pregnancy, right? Or they impregnated you. Let's start
there.
You
have died of dysentery.
Z-Man with the fucking bangers. So you have they're taking you against your will. They're impregnating you, which is to say they're raping you. And then in some cases they're taking your pregnancy, and there are still people that can't separate. They're like, yeah, but they're doing it because I'm special and we're preparing for something, a coming calamity, whatever it is. Like, trust me, they know what they're doing, despite the fact that this is all so invasive. And I think that if people ever got the sense, like if there was one abductee who was on the fence, who wasn't too sure, but then went through regressive hypnosis, and they're like, I'm on the table. They've clamped my wrists down. They've clamped my ankles down. They're now aggressively penetrating my with what appears to be a space, but they're laughing. I swear I heard them chuckle. Once the chuckle happens, it's all out of the window. You're never going to believe that. They have to maintain an air of seriousness. If they do have a sense of humor and they ever do laugh at putting things in your butt, that is not, I think that's worse.
This is for the betterment of humanity, and they're like, put this in your butt.
Unbelievable. All right. Where the hell were we? It was the most okay. It wasn't as if the sound was coming from the.
It was the worst of times.
It was the best of times. It was the worst of times. That was my favorite episode of Hey Arnold. If it was as if the sound wasn't coming from the outside world, but it was instead drilling directly into my brain. It was the most primal, gut-wrenching terror I have ever felt. And then nothing. I don't remember if I woke up, blacked out, or just snapped back into normal consciousness, but the next thing I knew, I was awake and frantically searching online for an explanation.
That means that you leaned back into it, homie. They presented you the space when you were like, just take it.
And you never even heard them. You passed out before you heard him laugh.
That's it, yeah.
He passed out before you heard him laugh. So he says that was the first time he ever heard the term sleep paralysis. That's a fucking nightmare, right? Because I had something similar, but it was the opposite. He goes through sleep paralysis. He then starts researching, which is bad. I'm not saying you shouldn't do it, but I'm just saying I know what you found. And having just gone through a fucking sleep paralysis experience, the last you really want to do is find out that this is a worldwide phenomenon and there's a plethora of different entities, from hat men to fucking, tall, skinny grays. And they're doing everything from choking you out demonically to artificially inseminating you. Like,
I know we don't really play this game that much. Is it sleep paralysis?
Is sleep paralysis? Yeah, because it's like you're being dominated, right? Like, what all right, there are some women out there who like to be like choked, right? And so you're in a what would you call it, missionary position, and you're doing some choking, some light choking, and this is all very sexual. Now all you do is you remove the penetration, but it's the same thing. Now you're a man lying on your back and you're getting dominated by this thing, and you're getting choked, and it's asking you, do you like this? But it's doing it in ancient Sumerian, so you have no fucking idea what it's saying. So yeah, I would say
just mind scream at me, please.
Please don't just do the mind screaming.
I told someone was messaging me, and people in the inner chat, in the inner group, if you're part of the Patreon, then you're part of the the private group chats, you'll know who I'm talking about. But this person messaged me and he was like, I just get so mad and I try to like not get mad and I don't know what to do. And how do you handle it? He asked me how I handle it, like about people doing and how I handle it. And I was like, I just think it's to let another man get inside of you, whether it
Mm,
be your emotional hole.
your
Yeah,
mind hole.
your mind.
Don't let men inside your holes. Yeah,
No, dude,
100%.
don't. You're not going to be in my mind hole, not in my content hole, not in my butthole, none of those holes.
Yeah.
So, yeah, whenever I come across it, I just go, not going to be with that.
Mhm.
You know, not
You're not
doing
allowed
gay
in this
shit.
hole.
Not
allowed
in that
this
hole.
Yeah.
None of my holes. My holes are for my wife.
I think, and you know what?
My e-hole.
I do think that
My
there's
t-
something that
what do you
happens.
use your T-hole for?
Do you remember like when you were younger, right? And you first met your wife and you'd be enamored. You're like, you're in the pursuit, you're in the chase, you're trying to woo her to win her over. And you'll even have these moments where you're like, you're thinking about her before you go to sleep, right? You go, that's the last thing you're thinking about is what slick thing did you say via text message, or did she say, that kind of stuff. It's very to be thinking of an entity, and that's the last thing you think about before you go to sleep. Like that kind of stuff is reserved for people that you're dating or people that you're killing, because I imagine you do spend some time thinking about your mortal enemies and the way you're going to thwart their plans against you. Those are the only two times anybody should occupy your mind before you go to sleep. If your mind is being occupied by something and you're afraid of it, and what are you afraid of? It's going to get on top of you, it's going to choke you, and it's going to say, do you like when daddy does that? But it's going to do it in Sumerian. That's
gay.
very.
Yeah.
Yeah, so don't if you experience sleep paralysis, it's the same as sucking your cousin's. It was the most okay, so I don't remember if
it was the
it was
worst
the best of times. Here, you want to take this over? Flash forward to 2022.
I'm now married, living in an apartment with my wife, our dog, and our cat. My wife was pregnant with our first daughter at the time. Over the years, I had continued to experience sleep paralysis occasionally, but I never found a way to stop it once it started. However, this was also the time when I was actively searching for a relationship with God. I had been listening to a podcast or watching a video about sleep paralysis, and someone mentioned that if you pray in the name of Jesus Christ, it will stop instantly. Okay, we've heard that that doesn't work all the time from a couple of people. I think Timothy Alberino was the first to mention it,
Hmm.
and Fringe also had mentioned it. I don't know how true it is. I don't know exactly what's going on, but that's what people say. But whatever.
From
Yes,
now on, we're only allowed to reference Timothy Alberino as Indiana Moans.
Indiana Mountain, like, oh, yeah, actually.
That's it. From now on, he's
Have you
Indiana
seen,
Moans. We're
have you
not
seen
allowed
the
to.
mounds in Peru? All right, no, we'll stop.
The name of
Uh,
Jesus doesn't always work.
Yeah, he wears like I like him, but like the pants he wears are kind of too tight. Also, why you always look like you're going on an adventure?
I kind of
Like,
fucking love that about him, though. As much as I call him Indiana Moans, it's because I'm a big fucking hater. Because this guy gets to go spelunking and crawling all over ancient artifacts and megalithic sites and shit while we
that
sit.
shit is dog. If I'm going to megalithic sites, I'm wearing my fucking pool Jordans. All right.
If we go to megalithic sites, it's to sacrifice Toad. That is exactly the only reason. If I ever climb to the top of a temple, it is to sink a blade deep into the heart of Toad. Not
Have you
because
ever-
I dislike him, but because I will reap great benefit from
Oh, for
from a
sure.
worthy sacrifice.
This is a top 10 podcast if we do that, but you got to stick it in his T hole, right in that lower back. You got to get
And
it
that's
in
fine.
there, real nice.
Knuckle deep, at least knuckle deep.
So I had experienced it. I had experienced it so many times by then that I figured, what do I have to lose? If it happens again, I try it.
Hmm.
So he's just fine with, like, you're just saying you're okay with all the that happens to you, and now you're just giving in. But you're like, I
Well,
have,
no. He's saying like, and I've been dominated several times by these mind screamers, and maybe this time I'll try calling on Jesus Christ. See how that works. What do I have to lose?
scream. Imagine the torture being
Dude, that'd be a
penetrated
nightmare. It would really be a nightmare.
by a gray alien and just screams at you. Ah, like
Just fucking constantly. Big
silent
face in front of
screaming.
you. Unbelievable.
Then one night, it happened. My wife, my dog, and my cat and I were all asleep in bed. I woke up paralyzed, staring at the ceiling. I could move my eyes just enough to see my wife and pets beside me, completely still. and then came the familiar wave of dread, the silent scream. So every time this thing comes, it's just like
100% it's fucking with him. 100% it's fucking with it. That just shows up and screams in your mind. Holy shit.
Where's the
Unbelievable, man.
fucking? You ever seen the son from Rick and Morty? The son that just screams.
Yeah, how it screams. Yeah, exactly. Just
That's hilarious.
screaming in your fucking ears, or not your ears, your mind hole.
The silent screaming, the crushing, suffocating fear, and honestly, that's horrifying from like a dead sleep. My son has done that, and my daughter too. Like if they wake up, they have like a bad dream, they just start screaming.
Yeah.
They just scream, and I'm like what happened? It's just-
Yeah, everything's all chaotic when you get woken up like that. Yeah, not good. And
Yeah.
honestly, that's what makes me feel like I know that if you do that to somebody, you'll generate a disproportionate amount of fear. And I do think that these things feed off of it. They're attracted to that sort of negative energy. But it also strikes me as very funny. Like that's how you would prank your homie, right? Like you would just like if we were ever hanging out and then Clint was sleeping, if we walked up and then we said on 3, 1, 2, 3, and then we just went and we started
he'd be
screaming,
disoriented for like 5 minutes.
he'd be like, and we would have the best fucking time ever getting to see that.
This is
So,
why
I
I
don't know.
said, like with that girl, like so that or you're with those 5 midgets in the room and the one tall girl. You're like, how do you defeat all of them? And
Yeah.
then you have to water balloon one, so it's like shock factor. You walk in, you fucking slap somebody as hard as you can, or you scream. You
In their
scream
mind.
in their mind. Ah! And they go, "Fuck."
That would be the best. Yeah, if I had fucking telepathy, I would use it very poorly. I would
just
I would
screaming at
mind
the
scream at
cashier.
people that I walk by. 100%.
And he's like, is that
Dude,
cash or credit? And you just scream in her mind, and then you
I'll
pay.
tell you what. I forgot to tell you this. So the other day I was going to the corner store to get some ice, and I'm walking through my parking lot. And for the first time, I think since I've arrived, I was like, oh, this place is really like, this is the hood, and I hate it because it's not uncommon.
As you're leaving.
I
As you're
hate,
leaving,
yeah, as
it's
I'm
like,
leaving. Yeah. Well, what happens is God puts rose-colored glasses on me. So everything that I see that I'm in,
No.
I think it's amazing.
You put rose-colored glasses on yourself.
Maybe
and then-
I do that. And God's like, you gotta
Literally.
go. You gotta get the f- out of here.
and then you wear them on stream.
That's true. All right, fine. But he removes those rose-colored glasses as it gets close to me leaving that place, so I could see it for what it is. So I leave. I walk out. I see a guy, and he's in the parking lot, and he's just fucking acting crazy. And I'm like, I got to go around the building now. I can't go that way because he's there, and who knows who he's gonna fucking ask me for $1 or something. So I start walking around a different way. Then all of a sudden, there's just like shirtless dude covered in tattoos who's just tweaking like in the fucking parking lot. Today's episode is brought to you by purgestore.com. What if I told you that more people have died from parasites than have ever died from war? What if I told you that diseases like cancer, multiple sclerosis, acne rosacea, and rheumatoid arthritis can all be with parasite medication? Rid your body of these all too common parasites by using Purge Parasite Cleanse. Purge Parasite Cleanse is made with ingredients like zinc, carrot powder, garlic, black walnut. These are all natural ingredients that keep you safe while killing the parasites. And while you're on purgestore.com, try out their digestives to promote healthy gut bacteria and aid in digestion. These, as well as any other products on purgestore.com, can be purchased with a promo code NEPHILIM, NEPHILIM, will save you 15% off of your entire purchase at purgestore.com. And I'm like, great, now I got to walk past that guy. So whatever, I go into the corner store, and as soon as I walk in, I never leave my gun home. I never leave my gun home. One time I leave my gun home, and 15 black dudes walk in, and they have ski masks, and they have red bandanas hanging out of their pockets. And the only part of their faces that you could see covered in tattoos. And all they're talking about is guns. They call them their blickies. So they're just some, oh, blicky this, blicky that. And they're just going off talking about their guns non-fucking stop.
Blicky this, blicky that.
Yeah, dude. And I'm just like, man, like I'm trying to. And then of course, like black people have this thing that they do where they love to narrate, because the energy of a black person is often, I wish I would, right? And so they'll do provocative things, right? So
You see, look, what you're saying is just not untrue. Like you're
No,
just
it's not
saying
true.
things and everyone's going, You've been there, but we're supposed to act like we haven't. It's crazy.
Well,
It's
this
crazy
is
to
one
watch.
that you'll hear this and you'll know that black people do this. So I go over, I get myself a little zip zap water from the thing, and I go, "Hey, what's up, Frank?" He goes, "Hey, David, how you doing?" I go, "Hey, can I get 3 bags of ice?" And he goes, "Yeah, David, no problem." And then all I hear from behind me is, "Damn, 3 bags. Isn't getting 3 bags of ice for motherfucking 3 bags."
You must have a
Damn.
big
And it's
freezer.
like out the freezer. Oh damn. Oh, this gonna pay for. Oh, pulling out his card. Gonna get.
He's
that
trying to
ice.
get you. He's trying to get you to respond and look at
All
him.
because it makes you because you're talking about me,
It's top
but
lobsters.
you're not saying anything.
Top
You're talking
nigga
about
man.
me, but you're not talking to me,
Mm-hmm.
right? So it makes you want to turn around and say what, and then they'll be like, "What the fuck you?" And then they'll fucking stab you and shoot you and kill you. And so it just really upset me because
What you're saying is, I don't know if people are like unaware of this. I'm looking at the chat, or people that will listen to this in the future. I don't care if you're black or not. If you listen to this, I wonder what our
hey,
demographics
black people,
are.
why do you narrate what we do?
It's not all of them, but like the ones that we're talking about, they do. And this exact technique, you know what? Somebody threw a fucking, they hit me with a battery. They threw a battery at me on the bus. They were doing the same thing when I
Assault
was in
and
high
battery,
school.
yeah.
I'm just, assault with AA battery.
Salt and battery, baby. All right,
Yo,
here we
listen,
go.
somebody threw it, and they must have threw it like, I swear to God, he threw, in my mind, he threw it like this, like fucking,
Yeah, it just
like
goes.
throw.
Yeah,
He
he's
hit
like
me-
wherever that goes.
It hit me in the head, and I felt it, but I heard them talking the same way to get me to turn around, and this hit me, and I had a fucking lump on my head, and I'm like, so I don't do anything, and I wait for a second, and I see the battery roll towards my foot, and I pick it up, and then I turn around, and it's my stop, and I go, who the do this? And they all go like quiet. Now they're waiting to see like what I do, and I said, who threw it? And it's just like noises. So I just take it, like they don't know what I'm gonna do now. So I just take it and I fucking as hard as I can, and I threw it. Look, if I would have hit somebody, I would have killed him. Went right to the back of the bus, and all you heard was like, wow, to the metal. And I was off the bus and I was gone. But I was like, yo,
I gotta run over they
ready
fucking, yeah, you gotta take your little wins where you can, because if you overstay your welcome, you get stabbed. That's just
I was
how
gonna
it
get
is.
I was gonna get jumped there, but I was like, if I hit one of them, I don't care. Like why would you do that? But this is just what they do, I guess. It's just like
Here we go. Raven is a cousin sucker says, ironic to assault someone with a battery, but then still not be able to change the battery in your smoke alarm. Was
Yeah.
it a 9-volt? It was
No,
like,
it was a
this
AA.
belongs in your smoke alarm, dog. This isn't a weapon. This isn't a projectile to hurt somebody with. I don't know.
if it was
It's
a
just,
9-volt, I would have definitely killed somebody if I hit it. But it was a AA, and I threw that. I'm telling you, I threw it. I was throwing like 90 at the time. I was in.
he says,
pitcher in
was
high
he
school.
black? Yeah, we already established that. We're telling stories about black people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This person. Well, it was a whole bunch of them. Anyway,
I want to
whatever.
know though, if you're a black audience member, and even if you don't do this, but you know the reason, I would love to know why. Like, they'll see somebody walking by and they'll be like, they got 2 feet walking. Look at him walking with his shoes, and they
Look at him.
look
Yeah.
at him walking. Look at him swinging his hands. He got 2 hands.
Or they might
Look
start
at him, look
saying, I've been in a situation where I'd be like, "Psh, blue pants, got
Yeah.
some black shoes on." And I'm like, fucking this guy talking about me? And then like once you buy into it and you go like, huh? Then they're like, what the fuck are you looking at? What are you looking at? What are you looking at, son? And then another one said, oh, why is he looking at you like that? And it's like, yo, he looking at me, son. And now they're both talking to you. I'm like, now I'm
Yeah.
gonna either have to kill one of them or they're gonna kill both of me. And it's like, why? So I just said, you know what I did? I got a U-Haul truck, and I said, I'm moving. I typed the demographics where you're not.
That's
Here
it.
we go. And then I go there.
Demographics where you're not was the actual Google.
Very
search.
sad, very racist, also very true.
Very true. All right. Enough about
The
blacks. Let's
bedroom
get to
door-
the actual shadow people.
The
Shall we?
bedroom door slowly creaked open. A thick black mist. Like a living, writhing fog began creeping in from the hallway, slithering along the ceiling. If you ever seen the black smoke from Lost, it was just like that. Oh, cool. We're gonna have a smoke machine at Bohemian Grove. Apparently,
That's a crazy plug, dude. Holy
crazy
shit.
plug. Evan Hall will be there. He said he's bringing magic mushrooms.
Let's go.
Okay.
Mushrooms?
Yeah, I will not be doing those, but that's
No,
fine.
bring me Pokemon cards. Go
There's a
on.
Machamp, holographic
Don't
sealed
say it. Why did you put inflection on it like that? Don't do that. That's
Machamp
fucking
or Machamp.
Machamp, not Machamp. Fucking
Some
A.
people say Nephilim. I don't like
That's
that.
true. I don't like when they do. I go, hey, you know what this show is called? And they
Cheney.
go, that's not how it's pronounced. And I'm like, we're fucking tomato. Huh?
Yeah.
It's an accent.
All right. He watched in absolute terror as it floated. What I watched as it floated toward us because he's still in the room with all of his wife and his cat and his dog. The pressure in the room growing heavier with every second. And then as it descended toward us, like it was about to enter or consume us, I did something I'd never done before. I prayed.
Mind scream.
Mind screamed.
You just got to mind scream at Jesus. Jesus, please.
I don't remember my exact words, but I know I begged for protection for my wife, my unborn child, my dog, and my cat. But the moment that is burned into my memory forever is when I said the word Jesus Christ, because the instant those words left my lips, it was gone completely, instantly, like someone flipped a switch. The fog vanished in the air, and the room became lighter, and my body was suddenly free. I could move again. Everything was exactly the same. My wife, my dog, my cat, still in their places. But it was as if reality had been reset in a fraction of a second. That experience solidified my belief in God. I've always been someone who needs firsthand experience to truly believe in something, and this was undeniable. I've had other sleep paralysis experiences since then, but nothing came close to the intensity of that night. I'm not proofreading this, so if it sucks, thanks. And keep up the good work, guys. Thank you, Cody.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Cody. That was
Excellent
good.
story.
Yeah. That right there at the end where he's like that, the experience solidified my belief in God. And I've always been the type of person who needs to see it firsthand. That's why like a lot of people will try to push me on like Jesus, and they're like, oh, what if it's just an egregore? What if it's a thought form? What if your belief in this thing gives it, and otherwise it doesn't exist anywhere but in your mind, and that you could conversely, maybe actually I don't even know if I made that word up or used it correctly, if it is real, but you could use the name of like any other deity and it would save you from it. And I'm just like, dude, when you're that desperate, it is the thing that sticks out to me is how insulting it would be to like turn on God and be like, I'm not too sure. Like I was pretty fucking sure in that moment when I prayed to Jesus to save my I was very sure.
It's definitely to say to be that way. It's like, oh,
yes,
that's how you want to do it. Okay,
that's what I'm saying. Like I never want to do that because I know that fear and that desperation was so potent in the moment that it eliminated any doubt that I had. And then it's just so convenient when you're not being beset upon by a greasy demon to then be like, well, let's get into this idea of Christos oil. You know what I mean? It's like, I wasn't saved by oil. My wife wasn't saved by oil. My son wasn't saved by oil. And he wasn't saved by the 33 vertebrae in his spine either. You know what I mean? Like it's fucking, it's just, it's very to when it's convenient, then start having your doubts. So I know what he's saying there. And I agree.
It's kind of funny. It's kind of funny to do that.
It is funny to do it, but it's like I'm not saying there's anything wrong with like taking in information, but if it comes from a place of like doubt, you got to recognize like how convenient it is to doubt when you're not desperate. You know what I mean? Like it's just you want nothing more in the world than to be saved in that moment. And then as soon as that moment passes, now this thing that was the most important thing in the world
like,
isn't so
nah.
important. Yeah, no, I don't think so. I'm like, that's not good.
It's hilarious. It's hilarious to do. Hilariously insulting. But
Yes.
yeah, good for him, man. Good for him. He
Where is did Nancy do a no call no show? We got to dock her pay. Where is she today? This is crazy.
she's not here. She might be in the hospital working or whatever she does.
Whatever she does. She just makes up stuff.
Yeah.
I don't think she has a job.
She's probably looking at fucking dead videos. All right, so we got a couple more in here. What is this?
Oh, we got to kick out these poor people though, because the wealthy members of our Patreon are displeased having sharing their quarters.
Oh, that's right. Okay, 37
guys, this
minutes.
is live, by the way.
Yeah, not anymore. Not for most of you.
That's it.
Sorry. See you in Florida, Evan. Thank you.
Hey, check that out. Buy me a
We will
Pokemon
be
card.
there.
Guys, we're at the 40-minute mark, and we're gonna cut it. If you're watching someplace else that's not patreon.com/Nephilim Death Squad, you're stupid.
That's it.
Go to patreon.com/Nephilim Death Squad and sign up for whatever you want. I don't care, but it'll help you continue watching this. And if you don't do that, that's fine too, I suppose.
I suppose. See you
I'm
later,
sweating.
guys.
Give me a second. I gotta make a pee. I gotta turn on my AC.
Oh, wait up before you go. Let's turn on. Let me kick
our
these
waiting
guys.
music. Yeah. We'll
Yeah,
give
I
some
shouldn't
people
have
some
kicked them
time to
out.
transition.
Yeah. We'll kick everyone out, and then we'll play some good waiting music. What do we have today?
I don't know.
Has he done anything recently?
Is he gonna do a musical performance at Bohemian Grove or Rapapalooza?
I don't know. Do we have time for it?
Even if it's 5 minutes, one song would be adorable.
Yeah,
Honestly,
I guess.
if Toad did one song, the whole audience would go wild.
Yeah, most likely.
That's what I want. I want Toad to play a song on ukulele, and then I want us to cheer disproportionately hard.
All right, guys. Everybody cheer for the next 3 minutes.
I'm gonna ride this plane out of your life again. I wish that I could stay, but you argue. And more than this, I wish you could have seen my face. In backseat staring out the window. I'll do anything for you. Kill anyone for you. So leave yourself intact, 'cause I'll be coming back. In a phrase to cut these lips, I love you. The morning will come in the press of every kiss, with your hand upon my chest, where I will annoy you with every waking breath until you decide to wake up. I've learned through up in faith and these curves around your face that I'm the one you hold forever. If morning never comes for either one of us, then disappoint you wherever. I'll do anything for you. This story is for you. I'll do anything for you. Kill anyone for you. So leave yourself intact, 'cause I won't be coming back. In a phrase to cut these lips, I love you. The morning will come in the press of every kiss, with your hand upon my chest, where I will annoy you with every waking breath until you decide to wake up.
Beautiful. Beautiful. Thank you,
nice.
Toad.
That
Yeah.
was nice. I don't think he's here, right? Toad's not here. Toad's not in the chat. He shouldn't be in the chat.
No, I don't think he's in the chat. I told him that we're playing his music though.
I saw that. So this is what I want. I want to tell the audience, because it would be our Patreon members who are buying up VIP tickets and who are going to be, close to the front. I want to do this thing with Toad, and that is, I want to get like a sign, and I want it to say like "Go ape," and when Toad steps out there, I want to pop out from behind that thing, and I want everybody to go fucking nuts. I want to create. Remember that thing where they would show a child on the Jumbotron? Remember that when they would show the kid on the Jumbotron and everybody would cheer, and then every time it would cut away, people would like boo at something, and they'd cut back to the child, and the crowd would go crazy. That's what I want to do. Every time I pop out with that sign, I want motherfuckers outside to hear us screaming for Toad, okay? That's what I want. I want him, and if we can pull this off without him ever knowing that happened until he sees the footage, that would be the greatest in the world. Just pop out from somewhere.
How great would this be? Like, we have Shane Cashman announce him, like do like an entire like dramatic announcement. He comes out in the dark, and then boom, like spotlight. And once the spotlight goes on him, people just fucking lose their. Can we
get him a frog hat? You know, the adorable little frog hat with the
little toad hat?
Yeah, little Toad hat.
I think we can. I think we could dress him up however we want.
I think we can do whatever we want to.
They want to boo Flint.
Guys, I just want you guys to know.
Could we boo Jose? If you could boo Jose.
That's so fucked up, dude. He would fall apart. He'd be like, what the fuck's the one time I get on stage and do some but I want you guys to like lose your voices screaming for Toad. I want women in the audience to show their tits to Toad.
We want fucking Toad chants. We want
Yeah, I want
randomly
people to
throughout
go
the
fucking
show
crazy for Toad. I want women to ask Toad to sign their tits.
When Owen Benjamin is doing stand up, I want you guys to just do like, we want Toad.
Toad.
We want.
Toad. Yeah.
Don't do that.
No, but we'll do that. Okay, so just keep an eye out for the sign, because I'll be popping out with the sign that says fucking "Go ape," and it's all about Toad. All right, we finished with Cody. Thank you, Cody. Sweet Cody. Cody, who shall be doxxed. And now I guess we're gonna go to Jabrowski.
Yeah, I like Jabrowski.
I like that name. And he
It's
says
short.
Melee? Question mark.
Melee question mark? 1 out of 2 pages, but really it's only 1 page.
Yeah, that's strange.
Go ahead and read that.
Okay, he says, yo, Raven and Top. Yo, what's up, bro? He says, I see orbs like every couple of days or weeks on my way back to work. It started about last winter. One morning heading out to work, I noticed a very bright star that looked out of place.
Morning
I don't really
star.
think. What's that?
A morning star. Some say that it's woke.
Star. Yes. The light bearer. Don't really think too much of it. You know, I got up to piss and then I fucking forgot to turn my AC on. I'm sweating. Don't really think too much of it. But a couple of seconds later, look back to the same area and it's gone. Kind of just brush it off and keep driving, and it happens again. This time, I literally watch it flare to the brightness of a star in the sky. Then within 5 seconds, it fades into black and it's gone. I saw something similar to that once. It was like a meteor. It lit up in the sky and it left a trail, and then it dimmed, and then it just kept going like indefinitely forever. Not very fast, like the speed of a plane, you know? And it just kept going. I watched it for fucking almost 20 minutes until it finally disappeared into the horizon. This goes on for a week or two, always in the same general area of the sky. But one day I'm stopping to turn onto a main road, and as I'm coming to a stop, I see 3 of these orbs in a vertical line. I'm watching the bottom orb. As I'm watching, the bottom orb moves forward, and they form a triangle and just fade away. A month or two goes by, and I see another orb, and I decide to tell my brother who rides with me to look. He did, and he saw it and thought it was weird, but after that, I didn't see them for the whole summer. This winter, they pick back up, again, usually only 1, but sometimes 2. One time I was kind of doing a CE5 thing, not good.
Kind of?
Kind of, yeah. I mean, you know, it's where does the line between thinking about a UFO showing up and CE5? Where's that line? You know what I mean? Like, I don't know, because that's how they're doing it. They're meditating and they're telepathically calling these things in.
True.
And I was just thinking towards sky to appear, towards the sky to appear. Okay, so he's looking at the sky and he's thinking that he wants something to appear. And I hit a snowdrift. Holy shit, dude. And I hit a snowdrift, went sideways, and as I'm correcting, one of the orbs flashes super bright and makes an upside down U shape and flares out right in front of me. What the That's crazy. That was its way of being like, fucking eyes on the road, homie. Jeez. Then just this past Monday, I saw another threer, and watched the bottom left orb disappear, then the right one, then the top one. It's weird, and it's just here happening. LOL, it's wild. Anyway, I hope this reads well. I be retarded. Love the show. Keep up the good work.
Retarded wrong.
He spelled it. Technically, it says detarded. I think he means danger tard, right? We're detarded.
Oh, yeah.
I like that. I also got locked in a room by something, and that was pretty wild. Also, Raven, I'm the guy who tweeted that little footprint to you. Oh, that's right. Yeah. This dude sent me either that or he tagged me in a footprint out in the woods, and it's a pretty decent sized footprint. But it's just strange because he was so deep into the woods and it was a bare footprint. Like it was bare feet, in other words. Like a man is walking around with no shoes out there and he's got a considerable
barefoot.
This is a guy with a big foot. I wouldn't say it was a big footprint as much as I would say it was just a big footprint. But then it's like, why is there a barefoot man walking around out here in the forest? That's very strange. Yeah, man. Thanks for the story. Probably stop focusing on those.
Yeah.
Because
don't think about them.
Right. The CE5, the more you do it, I think I saw a Fringe posting about, oh my God, did I miss a fucking phone call from my wife? That's not good. I'm sorry. I'm
at the store right now. There's 15 black guys talking about blickies.
I know. What's going on? Anyway, so the CE5 will end in things that are like poltergeist activity. And they'll end in like demonic encounters and they'll end in alien abduction experiences. And there was a time where I was like thinking about, is it inherently wrong to astral project or to remote view? And I was asking God to sort of guide me on it. And if it's a natural functioning thing that's not inherently bad to engage in, then show me how to do it. And if it is bad to engage in, then let me know. And then almost immediately afterwards, we got hit by an email that was like, yeah, dude, I started doing the remote viewing astral projecting, and it just led to demonic experiences, abduction experiences, sleep paralysis, fucking poltergeist activity. And it's like, okay, there you go. There's your answer. Don't do it if you aren't a fan of having that happen to you. So I would say, Jabrowski, don't fucking do that no more, baby boy. Also, keep your eyes on the road. Good God.
Right now, damn, this guy's like you're like addicted to doing that stuff, huh? That's crazy.
That's like me driving and auctioning Pokemon cards or buying Pokemon cards.
I do this. Yeah, but I do the same thing. Want a nice pair of Jordans like that. But all right, go call your wife. I'm gonna read Dakota.
Oh no, we're all good. Yeah. She said it was an accident, that she just never let me know it was an accident.
All right, cool. Good for her. I'm glad she's alive. All right, let's check out Dakota. This was in the NDS Chronicles at the bottom there. You can email us at chroniclesnds@gmail.com. That's where we want our emails to go to, so that way our other email doesn't get clogged up and this doesn't get missed. But Nancy,
where are you getting Dakota? I'm getting Jabrowski, Victoria, Thomas, and
go
Ben.
back and refresh it. I just put it in there.
Okay.
Yeah, it's in the email. There's a couple more that needs to be updated with it, but like I said, Nancy.
Docs in that pay, job. Nancy. Docs in
Fine.
that pay.
My name is Dakota. Soft docs is okay. We already said it.
Hello, Dakota.
I've been a long-time subscriber and I love this channel. Genuine due to the amount of acid and other psychedelic drugs I have taken at a youngest age. This is my paranormal experience mixed with a few other stories that may be relevant. I was never a religious person, but the occult always fascinated me. What fascinates me is the amount of females who listen to the show.
Is Dakota a lady name? Yeah, I guess
I suppose so, right?
Would it be Dakota if it was
Let's look that up.
Honestly, there are I forget what.
You ever met a dude named Dakota?
No, I've never met. Well,
Name
maybe
of the
I have.
episode: a dude named Dakota.
If you go to our analytics, it tells you like what percentage. I'm trying to see if I can find it. What percentage of our audience is women, and I it's not a huge percentage until you start thinking about like, let's say it was 20%. Like 20% of whatever the hell we got going on is quite a bit. So there's like thousands of women that listen to this show. What the
That is weird.
weird?
Let's see. Audience, we can do that. Audience.
I'm trying to find it. I can't fucking.
I mean,
I can't.
it's like by YouTube. How do I see by gender? We could see a bunch of 35 to 44-year-olds for sure. Oh, so male, 82% male, 17% female.
Yeah, that's a lot. That's a
That
lot.
is a lot. Yeah.
That's
Too
almost
many.
1/5 of our audience is women. And I posted that the other day. I posted it on Twitter, and I was like, "These women are crazy. Like these women in particular,
Crazy people.
crazy people. Yeah, yeah. And I guess it's the good kind of crazy, but it's a lot of women that listen to this. Strange.
Yeah.
I don't understand it.
Stay away.
I think women love spooky, to be honest. Not that we do only spooky on the show, but I do think women really love spooky. They like paranormal ghost stuff, you know?
Out of their minds. But yeah, I think you're right. All right, so let's get back into it, Dakota, whether you be a male or female. As a matter of fact, if you write in you're a female, just let us know
There's
that you're
literally look at the past 10 comments. 1 woman, 2 women, 3 women, 4 women, 5 women. What is
like
that's crazy.
Yeah, look at this. Hi ladies. Sorry you're here. All right.
Sorry that there's nothing better for you. Honestly though, I'd rather them be watching this than all the shit that Netflix gears at them. There's no trans characters on this show yet.
Well,
Not yet.
we
Not
haven't
yet.
made enough money yet, but David
we
is
haven't.
on
You'd be
his way.
surprised at how much a trans character costs. Quite a bit. All right.
Your soul.
Let's keep going here.
Okay, one of the earliest memories that stick out to me when I was a child stemmed from when I was roughly 5 to 7 years old and living in a trailer park with my father. So when they say roughly, they said it. I think they said it twice here. It makes me seem like it's a guy. Women don't use roughly.
That's true. Yeah, women don't typically, because that's a unit of measurement, and that's not quantifying things, measuring things.
Yeah, they're like, this is what, 6 inches? 6 inches? They don't know. Roughly.
6 inches.
6 inches,
lady.
All right, so he's this person, they them's with their father. Parents divorced when I was 1. It was a mobile home that was divided by doors in order to get to the next room. So like a what do they call those? Railway home. So it would be kitchen, living room, walk through a door and you'd be in my room, go through a door and you'd be in the bathroom, go through a door and you'd be in my father's room. That's a fucking nightmare setup.
That's the worst shit ever. I almost had an apartment like that when we moved. I forgot where we moved, but I was like, no, I'm not doing that. I'm simply not doing that. I'm not going to have it so that you have to walk through my bedroom and to be.
Unless her dad had like a door on the backside there, so his own private entrance.
I mean, the railway houses, I remember it was like, we were going to get a 2-bedroom and I would have had to have constantly walked through my son's room every time I wanted to get up, go to the kitchen, go to the bathroom. Not good.
Waking him up every single time. Jeez, that's a nightmare. So I used to be obsessed with an Elmo doll. That will come up later in the story. Keep a mental note. Might be a girl. I don't know. Bitches love Elmo.
Bitches do love Elmo. We used to have a haunted Elmo. Not Nice Race says, does David's head look huge compared to his body? So there's a combination of things happening. One, my camera is elevated and then tilted down, looking down on me. So my head is the first thing. And also my posture, if I'm back here, look at how normal everything looks, proportionate.
Yeah,
that requires me standing or sitting. Yeah, I even drive like that. Like I'm fucking retarded. Everything I do, I fucking do it head first. It's very heavy.
Head first, baby. Like a dog.
I gotta be back here. Like if I'm back here, it just looks like a normal fucking head.
Perfect. Now his head is normal sized. All right, here we go. His rings, though. The rings are bigger than you'd expect. Well, one night I had a dream and can still remember it very vividly. My brother and I stole my dad's cargo van and drove up a windy road to a stereotypical Transylvania castle. Once we made it to the door, Scooby-Doo answered and was dressed as Dracula. What? Dumb, but yeah, as I was a child, I was terrified from right from the gate. He started showing us around the castle, and so we stumbled upon a room that had The Mask, Jim Carrey movie, in a glass case. My brother broke the case and put the mask on. Bad idea. He started speaking gibberish and was bouncing off the walls. This scared me to the point where I woke up. The moon was shining through my room, and I was able to see a figure in the corner next to the door that led to the kitchen/living room. It was a smoky figure that was tall. It was doing nothing but heavy breathing and looking at me. I got up from my bed and started to walk towards my dad's room, continually repeating while locking eye contact, "Please don't hurt me. Please don't hurt me. Please don't hurt me."
He's talking to Scooby Doo.
He's talking to this shadowy figure standing in his room now, because he woke up from the Scooby Doo dream. Or she.
Oh, okay, okay.
Once I made it to my dad's room, I collapsed myself onto the floor and promptly fell asleep. 2 weeks later, our trailer burned down from an electrical issue. I was just down the street at a friend's house while my dad was at work and discovered. Could be a coincidence and possibly totally unrelated, but this is the start of the fires. What
The
the fuck?
fires, multiple fires. Oh, yeah, I see. He's listing them.
She is listing them. Damn, Ohio fire. Okay.
Yeah.
After the trail, so it says Ohio. After the trailer burned
I
down.
burned a lady's house down once.
Wow.
Yeah.
I'm gonna clip that.
Hugely an accident. There was a woman who used to let the neighborhood kids pull her weeds, and if they pulled her weeds, then she would let them into her in-ground pool. In hindsight, very suspect. I saw her once. But
How did that happen?
I was just hanging out. She was asking me because I was transitioning from middle school to high
Male
school.
to female?
Male to female. And I remember she's like, "Are you excited about high school? Do you think, yada, yada, you're going to be," and I'm like talking to her and I look down, it's just fucking, it's just, oh
Ew.
no. It was, she was like, I don't know if her was pulled to the side or if she just wasn't wearing underwear and a bathing suit skirt. But either way, she was just letting that old thing hang out. It's very bad. But still, we used to go there all the time, pull the weeds, and we would get to go in the pool. And so sometimes we would wait on her porch for her to get back from work. And then when she got back from work, we'd go, "Joyce, can we pull your weeds?" And as we're waiting there, she had on her porch a bag of charcoal. And we said, "Oh, that's cool." So we, dumped the charcoal onto the porch on the floor. And then we found lighter fluid and like for whatever, maybe like a grill. And we dumped it all over the charcoal and we set it on fire. And we said, "This is good." And we were having fun with that. And I don't know what happened, but I guess there was something else flammable nearby. So the fire just can't go. We can't get the fire to go out. So what we do is we start running to the backyard pool and grabbing water. We take towels. We throw the towels in the pool, and we now have saturated towels, and we're slapping them on the fire. This is making the fire worse because whatever is flammable is, I guess, an oil base, whatever. So that, it's like a grease fire. So as soon as the water hits it, the whole fucking porch just goes on fire. And now the walls are on fire and the ceiling of the porch is on fire. And we're trying to run in there, but now the heat is just too much for we're too small to get in there. And all of a sudden, some dude that's like across the street who's power washing his fence comes over with the power washer. And because of that, he's able to put the thing out with the power washer. But he literally tells us, he's like, "Fucking get out of here. Get out of here now." And we fucking ran. And then like that was a whole case. He never told. We never told. And It was just a big mystery who set Joyce's house on fire.
Did he ever go back and pull her weeds?
Yeah, I looked at her too. It was crazy.
That was after?
Yeah, probably. I think so.
It's crazy.
It is crazy.
That is nuts. All right, whatever. Here we go. So after the trailer burned down, my father shipped me off to go live with my mother and my two siblings in Ohio. While he figured out a permanent living situation for both of us, he was staying with different friends for an extended amount of time. I don't recall too much of the Ohio experience other than fireflies. Fireflies, tornadoes, and being bullied by my brother's friends. So I think this is a guy. They probably bullied you because your name's Dakota.
Yeah, that's a girl's name.
Yeah. But something that sticks out to me is our apartment that my mother lived in at the time burned down after about 6 months of me living there. Now, to me, I recall a completely different story than what my siblings remember of how the accident happened. This person is bad luck. Maybe you're an arsonist.
Yeah,
you
that's what it
consider
sounds
this.
like. It sounds like you're one of those kids that fucking really likes fire.
Maybe you burned this down. I don't know.
Mhm. At
It was
least
the
I
middle
can
of the
admit it.
summer. My brother and his friend that for some reason treated me like an absolute dog water. Well, in my memory, I recall this one day I got so angry with how he was treating me and not including me in the various things that they would do that I set his house on fire. No, I didn't say that. I was like, "Yeah, this is you, man." No,
Found
so
some charcoal briquettes and fucking set
you
it on
broke into
fire.
this person's apartment on the bottom floor through a window and threw some papers onto his stove and turned it on. What the
God,
dude?
you did do this. This is your fault. You're an arsonist.
I'm not even sure how a child that's maybe 7 years old could fathom to do something like this, but uh, a couple hours later, everyone was rushing out of the building. News
That's
came out
crazy.
later that night, and the fire department stated that the fire was determined to be an electrical issue on the third floor that caused it.
Damn. So you just fucking, that's a little peek into the fact that firefighters just be making up, huh?
Why did you do that? Holy
That
shit,
lady,
dog.
by the way, so we hung out with the crowd. You know, I was probably like 11. No. I was going into high school, so I was 13. And some of the kids were as young as like 10 or 11, and then some of the kids were as old as like 16, 17. And we just had like this big crew of fucking miscreants. And those older kids, when she wasn't home, they would break into her house and bang bitches on her bed.
Damn.
Yeah, diabolical behavior.
That is crazy, dude. See, that's why you can't live next to this stuff. Just
No.
can't live next to it.
In fact, one of those chicks that got banged in that bed, she was much older than me. Gave me a lap dance when I was a child, and I was like horrified by it because I could smell her butt and vagina through her pajama pants. As I'm sorry, this is just my mind is just spiraling now. But I was somewhere yesterday. Where was I? And a woman walked by me, and I was sat down. Where the was
You
I?
could smell her butt and vagina through her pants.
Yeah, well, she was white trash. Like a dirty. So yeah, I was like all fucked up
Nightmare.
about it. I was like, oh god, and I was I think at this time I was probably like 12. But wherever I was yesterday, and it's actually really upsetting me that I can't remember it. Oh, I was at the barbershop. My son's getting a haircut. Woman walks in, and she's got like crazy cheeseburger. You know, like an older lady with cheeseburger, where it's just like it's fucking. I can't even explain it. It's just like it's when your hips are so wide that it does like a giant wobble. Those kind of old ladies,
Oh,
right?
yeah.
And she, I was looking down at my phone, and I'm sat down. So when she passes by, my head is level. Dude, when I tell you I smelled like fish oil, she walked by me, and I fucking went,
Oh,
like it was in fish oil. Crazy. And I said, oh, this poor old lady, she can't wash her ass because she probably can't. But please
Can't
continue.
get that deep. Yeah, I mean, your arms, it becomes a point where your arms can't even reach that deeply in the crack.
What are you
What a
supposed to do about
problem.
that? This episode is brought to you by Matt Rife and his team over at realrifetechnology.com, the home of the Real Rife machine. A Real Rife machine is an electromagnetic radio frequency device engineered by Dr. Royal Raymond Rife in the 1920s, used to address various health concerns. Unlike imitation devices on the market today, Rife Technology was co-founded by Dr. Rife's relatives and longtime friend of the show, Matthew Rife. Real Rife machines are the cutting edge in wellness technology. I personally own one, and I use it all the time. I like to tune my Real Rife machine to the frequencies that help with addiction, to help curb my sugar cravings. Their Royal Rife machine is recognized as a general wellness product by the FDA. They're great for weight optimization and fitness improvement, mental clarity and cognitive functions, sleep enhancement and mood balance, vitality and sexual functions, digestive health and immune boost, skin radiance and endurance boost, healthy blood pressure maintenance, and more. And while you're on realrifetechnologies.com, be sure to check out the other products they offer and use promo code Nephilim for 15% off your entire order. That's promo code NEPHILIM, NEPHILIM, for 15% off your entire order when you visit realrifetechnology.com. How are you supposed to have sex with? I don't know.
You don't. You've lost your ability, not your ability, but your self-respect to have sex. If men had any self-respect, they wouldn't do it. But
Yeah.
is out here wilding
looks
with
like a cheeseburger.
cheeseburger and fish.
Cheeseburger and fish. Thank you very much.
All right, so this guy burned down an entire apartment complex, or girl. Could it have been a false memory that I've been holding on to for some odd reason and really wasn't my fault? No, it was you, dude.
Oh, because he's saying he has the memory of fucking throwing things on the burner, but they're saying that it was an electrical issue on the third floor.
Oh, right. Yeah,
That is
I don't
interesting.
know. It's hard. Listen, when you get into like the pathology of fire or like a fire science, people think that they have it nailed down, but it's so chaotic in there.
It is.
That's actually my my major in college, fire science, fire protection and management. And like you quickly could tell, like they're like, oh, look at that
Oh,
ente.
sorry, that was just go on.
The people like, yeah, we know the source of the fire and we could actually track it. And like, this is chaos in here. Like when you see the scenes, like this is fucking chaos. Like you can tell.
So being on the inside, do you think that it's easy for firefighters to determine the source of a fire, or do you think they just be saying?
It's different. I mean, they could find clues. You can find things, but like there could have been an electrical fire that started from the original fire that you caused.
Right. Exactly. Like one thing leads to another. Now all of a sudden it looks like it came from your Xbox. Not the case.
It starts to blow up. Like, yeah, you don't know what goes on. You can definitely see where fire comes from, but to tell exactly what started it, I think it's a little more difficult than
That's
they put
interesting
on.
because those things are utilized in court.
Yeah, they do use that, not just in court, but like insurance. I think it's a lot of it is to just get
Appease
insurance to
companies. Yeah,
but I'm not so sure. Like as we learn more, even about like DNA, they're like, oh well, there's actually DNA evidence. I'm like, fucking. First off, you didn't have it for a long time. Now you have DNA evidence, and now we're finding out that that's not really that accurate all the time. So
after the PCR test, when I learned that you can, in any sample of anything, if you look hard enough, you will find traces of virtually every single element or molecular compound on Earth. Then that's not good. That doesn't seem reliable.
Exactly. And now you're talking about tracing back like the most destructive force in nature, which is fire. It's either water or fire, and fire is the thing that basically just deletes everything in its way. I mean, you're gonna give a sacrifice to God, you burn it. This shit goes up, it's like dissipate. It's
gone.
It's gone. That is gone. Whatever. All right. So could it have been a false memory? No, you burned it down. He says, I don't have the slightest clue. Shortly after this, I moved back home with my father.
And then my father set on fire. And I don't know, was that my fault?
Spontaneously combusted. All right. High school. I started to smoke weed in the summer, going from 8th grade to 9th grade. My whole family at this point in time were all smoking, and it just kind of fell into my lap. At the age of 14, I've already picked up several burglary charges. This is a guy.
Damn, at 14? Yeah. With women, with girls, you got to worry about them getting pregnant. With boys, you got to worry about them going to jail.
Yeah, it's like one path or the other.
Mm-hmm.
So I was already on the track to being a career criminal. My house became the trap house, figuratively speaking. It was a nice neighborhood, but we were the odd ones out due to my parents being deaf and my dad collecting a social security checks in order to afford the rent payments. My parents being deaf, what's that mean? Like they literally couldn't hear?
Those are people that by the way, I warn my son about, is when you go to your friend's house when you're older, if he has cool parents, if they say things like, you can watch the thing over here that you can't watch at your house, or if you get a little bit older, like 16, 17, 18, and they're telling you can smoke in this house, I'd rather you do it here than on the streets, get the fuck out of here. Don't ever fall. Don't let your kids fall for the cool parents, because those are the predatory parents, and that's also the places where happens. I've hung out in those places. You want to know where 16-year-olds are fucking and getting teen pregnancy? In those houses, the cool mom's house, the cool dad's house, those fucking parents, that man, I really am not a fan of that type of. I've been around them a lot. I spent my childhood in those houses, and only as an adult do I look back and realize, oh yeah, there seems to be a pattern where cool parents, trap house parents, whatever, they're the ones where all the kids who were spiraling at that time, they've grown up, they don't have jobs, they're in jail, whatever the case may be. 100%. The cool parents are not what you don't want to have them, and you don't want to spend time with people who have that. I know it's alluring because as a teenager, you're like, I don't got to do. Where can I be? Where can I hang out? And there's always some cool parent that's like, you can hang out here, you can smoke here, you can look at my like that. That's what happens. That's how it goes. It goes, you can hang out here, you can smoke weed here. Hey, look at my. That's exactly how that goes.
Do you know who was the cool parents? My cousin's mother. Not like look at my cool parents, but like
Hold on a second, bro. Curtis said, funny, my mom would let us drink at home. Oh yeah, she fucked one of my friends. There you go. I don't lie to you guys. I'm not here to lie to you guys. I'm a pattern recognizer. Cool parents. And I don't mean it literally, because they will if you ask, apparently.
Yeah. Anyway, it's either they're gonna f your friends, or well, my aunt was the cool house where she let the kids would go and smoke in the basement and do whatever. But this house was severely haunted. It was almost like she was like fostering all this bad juvenile energy in the house. I don't even know if she knew what she was doing, but you wonder why this was like extremely haunted. I was like, yeah, that's why, because your house was.
Those are parents who do that. I'm your friend, and they want to remain your friend. And then when there's a natural detachment that happens when you're a teenager. You fall away from your.
That's why I tell my kids. I tell my kids right away. I was like, I don't like you. Like,
that's right. I'm not giving you anything. I'm not your friend. I don't even think you're funny.
Yeah. You're lucky I let you live here.
You're lucky I let you live. But I'm serious though. I do think there's something it's the Oedipal mother, right? Where like she wants to baby you, she wants to be your friend, she doesn't want to be mom necessarily. And then what that means then is she is the facilitator of all the that will be your downfall in your teenage years. And that's a huge problem. And then you suck your friends into it, and then she's friends off. It's fucking not good.
Crazy. It's a vicious circle.
Yeah.
All right. So let's see where we at. So his house was the cool house. His parents were deaf. They couldn't hear going on, so they were just doing whatever they wanted there. My brother would sell weed to all the high school kids, and they'd come over to my place to smoke. We turned our garage into the smoke spot, lined with couches and a coffee table. Throughout my high school years, I started experimenting.
Show.
Yeah, right.
Mm-hmm.
So he's experimenting with various drugs, primarily Xanax, Perks, and Adderall. He had psychedelics, mushrooms, acid, salvia. And at the age of 15, I started to jockey box. I don't know what the that is.
Jockey box? Is that euphemism for jerking off?
I don't know. That's where I would wake up at midnight and go hit the surrounding neighborhoods and look for unlocked cars. Okay.
Oh, me too.
Criminal activity.
I used to do the exact same thing. Yeah,
we piece of shit, dude.
There's some that I'm not sure the statute of limitations on that I'm not even going to mention here, but we got some from some cars.
What'd you get?
Man, I don't know. I don't know if I could say it.
I mean, at this point, is anyone reporting this?
That's true. And this is actually in Minecraft. We found an unlocked police cruiser.
Oh, yeah. Let's not say that. That's probably not past the statute of limitations, but I'm sure you found.
We just found one. It was there. I didn't say we fucking did anything to it.
We fucking set it on fire, dog.
No, we just found it, and we found some stuff in it. All right.
That's where I would wake up at midnight to open up a police cruiser. Is fucking insane.
Yeah,
it's insane to even see it and then touch it.
Yeah, it's insane what we found in it.
I want to know. All right. It's like there's a dead body. It's a dead hooker in the trunk.
All I know is there had to have been an officer released from the force. That's all I know. Somebody had to have. There had to be some fucking disciplinary action there.
Okay.
So awesome.
Sometimes until the early break of dawn, crossing several miles of ground. He's opening cars.
Yeah. Yep.
Each time I did that, I would. One time I was in my dad's car with my girlfriend in the middle of the night doing some stuff, and somebody did that. They opened the door. Whoa! And they opened the door, but I was in the back seat, and I fucking swung at them, but they like backed up, closed the door, and just ran away because
Yeah,
like
you gotta run away.
they were just there to steal, you know.
You know how bad we were? So we would pull some handles and the alarm would go off. And then we would run. We'd sprint like, I don't know, maybe half a mile away. And then we'd just continue.
Yeah.
So it was like if you were lucky enough to be on the block that had an alarm, at least we wouldn't hit your block. We'd run, but then we would just pick it up just, a few blocks away and just continue. I mean, yeah, we found some, man.
Crazy. All right. Here we go. Where are we at? So into the early break of dawn. Each time we did that, I would get this feeling that overtook me. It's hard to explain, but it's just like I was alive when I would do it. Yeah, it's called adrenaline.
Yeah.
I started to fall behind in school, sleeping in class, and really only looking forward to the next high I was going to get and the next crime I was going to commit. At 16, the paranormal came back, or at least I started to see it more often. It started with what we called the death chair. All right, you read from here. I have a feeling it's going to get good.
Z-Man has a good point, though. Your
car
this is
is
just a public service announcement. Your car is not
Yes.
your holster, guys.
It's not a holster. Take that with you.
Okay, did you highlight it for me? I'm retarded.
Right here. My mother gave us a chair that she received from a friend.
What? Okay. My mother gave us a chair that she received from a friend. It was like a throne, and we treated it like one. First into the garage would be able to sit on it, and we would always get, and they would always get the first hit of whatever we were doing that night. That's great. So that's what the throne gets you, is the first bump or the first pull. It would always be either my sister or myself. Rarely would someone beat us there. Over the course of a few months, we started to notice that the people who would come over there weren't regulars to the garage. I'm sorry. Those people who weren't regulars to the garage would experience a wave of sickness, go pale white, and feel like they were having difficulties breathing with increased heart rate, and only while they were sitting in this chair. Damn. We reached out to our mother and asked where she obtained this chair from, and she stated that it was from the depths of hell, and she had a newborn to achieve it. She says it was from a friend who
She
passed
said it
away.
like this. It was from a friend.
It was from a friend. Who passed away by a heart attack in that chair. What the dude?
Damn.
Why would you? What discernment do you lack that you're like, I'm gonna bring the dead chair into the house? That's a crazy decision. I mean, that's fucking, even if you're collecting spooky stuff, like, damn, man, that's a far cry. So we named it the death chair, and any newcomers who would come by, we would provide the lore, and then we would see if they wanted to try and beat death. Okay, so I guess it's like, hey, sit in this chair and see if you can overcome getting pale and sickly and nauseous and anxious. One time I remember very well this kid named Jimbo. Never met a fucking kid named Jimbo. I swear to God, I thought they just made those as adults. I've never met a child named Jimbo. I thought it just men over 50.
You earned that name.
Yeah, you earned that name. Your name is Jimothy, whatever. And then fucking after you reach a certain age, you get the suffix bo. Jimbo came over and started to experience the symptoms above. But he was a bit more unique. He blacked out and his eyes rolled to the back of his head. And when he came to a few seconds later, he said he was getting visions of killing his cousin who was in the room with us. That's not good. Don't kill your cousin. And also probably stop. I don't know. I mean, I guess up until something really spooky happens, this is all very fun. You're doing drugs and you have the Ouija board of chairs in your garage. And so I could see how if you're fucking retarded and you don't have information yet, this could be fun. From that point, we decided it was best to move the chair into storage and replace it with camping chairs. Okay. We were freaked out by it. Could have been the drugs that made these people sick, with all of us being pretty young but doing a lot of different shit. But it's hard to think that as I reflect back on those times. During this time, I slept in a den room that was at the back of the house. I would hear footsteps leading from the front door on multiple occasions to the opposite side of the house, where my sister and dad slept. House would be completely empty and no one was home besides myself. Each time I felt like there was a presence. That reminds me of that last story we read where that fucking reptilian is stomping around this dude's house and leaving prints inside of his carpet.
Right.
Good. Eventually, my sister moved out and I overtook her room. this is where the Elmo doll resurfaced. I've told you guys I had a haunted Elmo doll. We threw it at the back of the stairs, or the bottom of the stairs. My mom used to get expensive toys for dogs, and even though the batteries were out of it, it would be at the bottom of the basement stairs going, ha ha ha, that tickles. It's fucking horrifying, dude. My friend found it and tucked it away behind my dresser in the corner of my closet and clowned me for having it. I told him it wasn't mine, and I don't even remember where it came from. Each day for 2 weeks, I would throw the doll into the living room, and it would appear back in my room the next day in a random location, sometimes behind the dresser, sometimes by the window, but it always came back. After a little while, I started to think someone was playing a prank on me, and it was just utterly fucking with me. One night, I had 4 friends over. We were getting high on some Xanax.
Why not?
And a little bit of Adderall. What is the dude? Make up your mind. Do you want to be asleep or do you want to be really awake? What is that like?
I want to be dead.
I want somewhere in between. Limbo is where I'd like to be. Adderall and Xanax. That's a wild combination. My wife and I did Unisoms and Adderall once. So I guess I can't really, because it was like the point was the Adderall was supposed to keep you awake, but the Unisoms was supposed to shut your body down and put you in a state of like waking sleep. And it did just that. I saw Panthers.
Damn.
And I saw light that would not dissipate. So if I took my phone and I turned the light on and I streaked it across your face, it would leave a tangible streak of light that both you and I could see. And we could explore it in like 3-dimensional space. Very strange.
I don't know if do you ever remember taking Jack 3D as like a pre-workout?
I thought those were Doritos.
No, Jack 3D was a pre-workout for they made it illegal because it killed a bunch of people. But
what?
Yeah, it was
really
like the original formula was fucking. I mean, I would take that and then in the gym, I mean, veins like all the way through my fucking neck. You see every vein in my body. You just like, yeah, it was great, but I wouldn't be able to sleep. Like I would take it at 6 p.m. and then you can't sleep. And I remember being chased by like jaguars specifically, but like superhuman jaguars. It was a consistent thing to the point where I stopped taking it. Not because of like,
yo, wait a second, dude. You're taking pre-workout and you're seeing jaguars?
Well, when you try to sleep, yeah, it's like it felt like I was sleeping with my eyes open, if that makes any sense. Like you just cannot sleep and you're being chased by like a jaguar-like creature. But I just remember that from a long time. That's why I stopped taking it. Like you would have heart palpitations, you would have like fucking all kinds of shit going on, but the effect of it was worth it. Like I was lifting. It's just like getting chased by the jaguars was just too much, so I stopped.
I can understand how that could be. If anything fucks with my sleep, I have a real hard time for it. Where did this guy? Somebody just said, oh, Marnie says she used to do Xanax and meth. Good times.
Wow, Marnie.
That's incredible. You're fucking overachieving. You're just trying to show off, Marnie.
I see the type of woman that listens to this show.
That's what I'm talking about. We're like, who is the woman that listens? Who are the 20% of our female audience? And it's like fucking meth and Xanax enjoyers.
Damaged people.
These are people
but
that
so are the men.
Yes, yeah, they're all. Well, we all are. I'm as fucked up as they are, but it's like I like people who were thrown into hell and who like looked around for a little bit and was like, "This is crazy," and then maybe even decided like, "I can hang out for a while," and then eventually decided to come, crawl out of it. I really like that. All right, where the hell were we? I was talking.
It's Xanax and a little bit of Addy right here.
Yeah, playing some Call of Duty. When one of the friends found the doll. That's a great time. Xanax, Adderall, Call of Duty. I told my buddy to throw the doll outside into our front yard. A few hours later, on this, one of the girls we were with said there was a man out front with a large black dog standing on the sidewalk, staring at our house with the Elmo at his feet. A man with a large black dog. I like this. This is reminding me of the Hellhound stories from the confessionals, but one in particular where a man and his siblings found Dracula on a mountain.
Oh yes, the large dog.
When Dracula was no longer in the coffin, he was seen dressed in all black with a big black dog. That's fascinating. He picked it up, the Elmo. He picked it up and placed it by our mailbox. We all witnessed this happen. Keep in mind, it's like 2 a.m. The next morning, it's gone. Later that night, it's back in my room.
Whoa.
We lit it on fire and joked that if it came back, we knew it was haunted. You probably fucking had a pretty good indicator before that. And he says it never showed back up. That's crazy, though.
Problem is, like, when you burn those effigies, where does whatever was inside of it, where does that go? Like, it's been
Yeah.
released now, you know?
And are you sacrificing it?
This person, I mean, live by the fire, die by the fire, right? All right.
Well,
About
if
a
a
month.
spirit inhabits an inanimate object, and then you burn that inanimate object, and you free the spirit, well, I imagine it was like relatively free before it inhabited the object, right? I don't know how that works, but what happens to the spirit that's inside that?
Goes into you, maybe. I don't know. So, about a month shortly after I turned 17, I get this urge to go jockey boxing. It was calling me. I started at my usual time in my usual places, but this time it felt like a trance. After going through roughly a few hundred cars, I was coming up short. I felt this rage build inside of me, and I lit the next 5 cars on fire that I had access to. What the? 3 exploded completely, and 2 had minor damages.
Wow.
That is crazy.
This
Yeah,
guy's
dude.
cool.
This is you. You're a pyromaniac. My friend who was on house arrest at the time lived in the neighborhood and happened to witness the last car explode and ran to their house to wake up the family before they ended up engulfed in flames.
Wow.
I
So he almost
continued on
killed his homies.
Yomo, your homie's neighbors. Yeah. I continued on my path and I ended up stealing a gun from a car. A month later, I have ATF, my probation officer, and some plainclothes police at my door looking to speak with me. I ended up admitting to committing the arsons after several hours of being interrogated and spent the next 4 years in prison.
Holy
Worst time of my life. Fuck.
I got bragging rights over him. Dakota, they wrapped me up at 17 or 18 for a drug deal that went bad and ended up in a stabbing. And they kept us for like 6 hours, and we never broke. We never broke.
Wow.
We got out of there. I thought I was going to prison. We got out of there, and then when they posted it in the news, it just said Edison, New Jersey man robbed at knife point for his wallet. It's like, that's not what he was robbed for.
Jeez.
But yeah, that was a fucking really scary time. That was probably the scariest experience I've ever had, and that did not make me feel like my soul was in mortal danger. All right, even the scariest things don't give you that feeling that sleep paralysis does.
Damn. All right. Since being out of prison, I've met a wonderful woman whose family showed me the word of God, and my life has changed drastically. I've repented for the sins I've committed and the people I hurt. At 30 years old now, I'm happy to know Jesus Christ and the blessings he has graciously given me.
Based.
There's a gap between meeting this woman and me being released from prison that involves a psychedelic bender, some meth use, accident.
It's an accident.
And
He didn't mean to use the meth.
yeah, and the shadow people. He smoked meth by accident, I guess.
So this one is accidental meth use in black people.
If you'd like to hear this portion, please let me know and I'll send another email.
Hell yeah,
Stay
Dakota.
retarded, Dakota. Yes, Dakota. Dakota's our pen pal. Please send us another email about that portion. Very interesting story.
He's man, I really do have an affinity. You know why? Because these people never take on a holier than thou, persona. They never act like they're better than you. Like, I like people who have gone through the ringer and who, for all intents and purposes, should be disregarded by society. But then all of a sudden they have something valuable to contribute, which is their testimony or otherwise. I love that. Those are my people. I really enjoy them much more so than that holier than thou buttoned up Christian.
This is our audience, I suppose. Like I wonder a lot of the times where it's like, actually, let's read this. I'll read this email really quickly.
Okay, dokie.
And then we'll end it. But this one here is in the Chronicles email. This is from somebody named, we'll just dox her. Her name is Cheryl. Cheryl says, what was that?
I said, what's her last name?
Yeah, I'm not going to say her last name. But she goes, hi. I happened to find your show and was happy to listen until the F bomb and other
Which one?
curses. The F bomb. When we said
Okay.
or
It could be either one, but go on.
philanderer, I don't know.
Mm.
And other curses started
Fellatio.
to consume the conversation. I listen to blurry creatures, and we know prophecy watchers, etc. I don't even know the rest of those shows. Love the subjects, and your podcast piqued my interest.
Mhm.
Sorry to say, I can't deal with the language, even though I like your subjects. Respectfully, Cheryl. And then I
Okay,
said, it's not.
now wait.
Yeah.
Whatever you say next, I just wanted. She did say respectfully,
Yeah.
so there's that.
Respectfully. This is not, it's not right, Star Crimes. Don't
Star
say that.
Crimes, come on, Star Crimes.
So I just answered her, it's not for everyone. Those are some great shows, even though I don't know the other two. Thanks for your interest. And then she says, thank you for your quick response. So that's our one of our latest listener submissions, I suppose, even though they must have listened to like half an episode and said, these guys say way too much.
They're
I
not
just
wrong.
can't do it. Yeah, you're not wrong.
You're not wrong.
But it's not for
Yeah.
you. This is for drug-addled retards like Dakota
Yeah,
who have girls' names.
that's what I'm
Cheryl.
saying. Whatever we're doing here, a boy named Sue. Whatever we're doing here it brings me a lot of satisfaction, a lot of joy, because I am making content that I want to make, and I am making content that I would listen to. And you imagine then that there are other people like me. If you're like me, then you would feel the same way. You go, oh, this is good content. I want to listen to it. In that way, you're like me. If you're like me at all, then maybe you did do stupid. Maybe you did smoke this and take that and go to jail and da 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 da. You know what I mean? Like, and so we're attracting a crowd that is literally like, it's, you know, a huge portion of it is people that went through the same shit that I went through. So if I wanted to make a product that was for everybody, then maybe I would make like, I'm not shitting on these people at all, but maybe I would make like a blurry creatures or the confessionals. And these guys are very worried about the language that they use, and they're marketing this thing towards as a family product, which it is, and it's a great product, but they have that covered. They already have that. I am only doing whatever you've come here and you found distasteful, or whatever you've come here and you found enjoyable. It is all genuine. All we're doing is talking about the things that we want to talk about to the people that we want to hear. That's it.
Yeah.
Nothing complicated here.
I will say, I'll do a little rejoinder. In the Patreon, I had asked if people would find it useful if they got the audio version of these episodes without the curses or the slurs. Like and the reason I said that is not because of people like Cheryl, because she's offended by the notion of it being used. Even if you used intelligent, sparkly language to say these words rather than
It's
saying
about
them.
the
It's about the insinuation. It's the
Mhm.
idea that we're going there, that we are pointing at a certain thing. I guess telling the truth in a certain way. So even if I did block out the words for her, it wouldn't matter. That was
Right.
more for like if you're listening in your children are not going to put together the context clues of like some of these slurs that we're saying, but they also won't hear them to be able to repeat them. That might make you more comfortable. Most people were like, just fucking do your show. They like the adult
Some people
content.
got
Anyway,
mad
so
at
you're
us.
fine.
Some people were
Yeah.
like, oh, what are you doing? Why are you censoring? It's like, no, don't worry. We're not going to actively censor. We're going to have an AI go back and clean up what we said, just so that your children don't have to hear.
And it would also have been like it wouldn't have been instead of, it would have been also, so you could listen to this or that. But honestly, it's a lot of work, and the amount of that you guys gave me, I don't think I want to do it now. So
But there are those places, though. There is a confessionals. There is a blurry creatures. These are shows that I myself enjoy, and I don't look at them and go like, look at these faggots. They didn't say, like, I don't feel that way at all.
He's like, but they thought it. But they thought it.
They thought it. That whenever I know they're thinking it, but they don't say it that way, they lose
I'm like,
7
just
points
say
when
it.
that happens.
Just say what you're thinking. What's
it.
the point of having a podcast if you can't say what you're thinking?
That's it. So yeah, to those people that find this distasteful, I understand, and you're not wrong. I used to eat trash out of the dumpster, so this is a lot better than what I used to do, and I just can't. You know, there's a lot of people that want you to be like this kind of upstanding, Christian character, and it's like, even if I do become that, it doesn't happen all at once. You want me to just snap my fingers and behave differently because I now have a different set of rules that I have to adhere to? Like, I'm retarded. It's going to take me some time. So
Yeah,
if
like
you
that,
like that,
the Canary Coal Mine guy. He's like, "Aren't you guys a Christian? Like, aren't you guys Christians? How could you tell me to just go and shove my opinion of my?" I was like,
Yeah.
"Well, aren't you a schizophrenic? Like, why am I supposed to, like, I don't know, you're holding me up to certain standards, but you're allowed to be just a complete lunatic?" I was like,
Yeah,
"I'm gonna
and
treat
also
you."
the very Christianity that we adhere to is something you find distasteful, abhorrent, and incorrect. So you don't even respect this thing that you're trying to weaponize against me. Like, f- you.
Yeah, you don't respect it at all. That I correct people. It's like, being a Christian means that I believe Jesus Christ came and died for our sins. He's the Son of God, sits at the right hand of the throne, and he resurrected after 3 days. That's what being a Christian means. I say bad words, you get offended at it. I don't really know what to tell you, dude. Especially those people, the ones that like to. It's like they're trying to fight you with a handicap. You know?
Yes, that's exactly. They want you to stop beating their ass, like tie one hand behind your back. This is an unfair
Yeah.
fight, and it's like, oh, you
Like, no,
didn't know.
fag. How about I just keep punching you? And they're like, but that's not quite Christian. I was like, well,
Yeah.
neither are you. So now we're playing by the same rules. How does it feel?
Yeah,
And it's funny. That guy hasn't said to me in a couple of days because I've thoroughly embarrassed him.
well, that's what keeps happening is these people keep coming for us, and they assume that we're some sort of shill or some sort of fed, and then all you find is like we're just potty mouths.
Yeah.
Oh, very boring, very. And instead of moving on, being reasonable, you just decide to double down now. You go, all right, I didn't find what I was looking for. Maybe General Flynn isn't paying for your events, but I did find out that you have a proclivity for the word, and I'm now, and it's like, that's not even as potent as General Flynn.
That's what he did.
Funding us.
He looked every time I said on Twitter, and I mean, I could imagine what he found. Literally every other tweet. And he's like, look at this. And I was like, yep, I said that. Like, how
Yeah.
about this one? And I was like, called my co-host gay too. Yeah.
Call myself. It's I don't know. These people are retarded, but I sometimes I think we spend too much time on that because the truth of the matter is there are thousands of people who enjoy this show. We're talking about a vocal minority of retards, actual retards, right? Not people that are pushing against the status quo. We're talking about people that are spiraling, that have that sort of paranoid schizophrenic lean and have latched onto us, but they represent 0.01% of our fan base. And then there's this massive body of people who enjoy what we're doing, but just like them, when I listen to a good episode of Tinfoil Hat, I don't go, hey, Sam Tripoli, keep up the good work. I don't do that. I listen to it and I go, that was a fucking banger, and I keep it moving, right? And so normal people, they don't say those things. There's a huge percentage of people that enjoy what we do, and it's evident by the success that we've had. And sometimes I think we just get caught up on the very small minority of retards out there.
This is actually interesting. The other night is telling me to look up brood of vipers in Greek and what it means. I don't know. I wonder, can you just tell us that?
Another night, spoil it for us. We're too retarded to do all that typing and stuff like that.
Yeah, I know. I have to like Google this. What does that mean?
Yeah.
I have the Greek word for this. I have to copy paste it. Thanks a lot, Nether Knight.
You see this one? This is the
Ooh.
Mewtwo that was the promo for when we went to the movies in 1999.
It's beautiful.
And they handed these out, and I got that thing right there. Isn't that nice?
I guess he's not going to tell us.
Says before we get out of here.
We're waiting.
We're waiting. Now the Nether Night, we simply cannot leave. We're going to stay here. I just realized that we've gone a whole show, and Nancy never showed up for work.
Wow.
That's crazy. A whole show. No call, no show. Disciplinary actions are going to be taken.
It says the fruits of viper. What's that mean?
The fruits of viper. Vipers?
Are they calling them
snakes? The fruits of vipers.
I don't know what that means. Nether Knight, message us. We'll see you guys later.
Okay. Oh, wait, guys.
Oh, what?
Brogrove.com. Get your tickets.
Yeah, go to brogrove.com if you haven't already. They're already almost gone.
Almost gone.
But there are, I think I'm going to open up a few more. Like I said, maybe 7 more because there's 28. The problem here is there's 28 VIP tickets, we have to save space in the restaurant to make sure that we have enough for the content creators that are going to come and the VIP people. So I think 7 more will be good.
Maybe we could do that. I love Jin. She goes, Nancy's working a job.
Yeah.
I don't know what the acronym is, but I do think it's funny that Nancy's
JOB.
actually getting paid.
Yeah, good for you, Nancy.
Dude, think metaphors. The Nethernet, you really got to spell it out for us. We're fucking retarded. It's not good. All right, guys. Brogrove.com. Go and get your tickets and watch Tower Gang tonight. Is that it? That's all we got?
That's it.
The greatest hypnotist on planet Earth is a oblong box in the corner of the room. It is constantly telling us what to believe is real.
You can persuade them that what they see with their eyes is what there is to see.